to the 2017 Variety Bash. With over 70 bash cars, 31 support vehicles and 80 bash virgins joining us for the first time, we're ready for another fabulous event.
A big official welcome, one and all, to the 2017 South Australian Variety Bash. It is by far the state's most successful fundraising event, and I think we should show our appreciation for you and for that. Every year this event brings in millions of dollars, and if you add that up over the last 28 years, you can see why we are truly proud of what is a remarkable organisation and a tremendous event in terms of fundraising for sick, disadvantaged and special needs children here in South Australia.
Before the bashes hit the road, a few last-minute checks.
Just because we haven't started yet, nothing to see here, nothing to see here. Day one.
Start line.
Well, this is better than doing it out on the track.
Morning. Number 7. This is my 11th year, and Larry, who our team captain is, Captain Wally, is his 25th.
Yeah,
So
25.
going all out this year for Larry. But you're seeing it here today already with the kids and the smiles on the kids' faces and things like that. So this is what all the bash is all about, and just bringing happiness where we go and a bit of fun and frivolity.
No start line would be worth its salt without a hearty breakfast. This year, a great effort by the local RSL.
This is the real engine room. Mt Gambier RSL, putting some breakfast together this morning, keeping the engines warm. Hopefully everyone's got breakfast and they're ready to go.
Each year, Variety gives hundreds of thousands of dollars away on the bash, helping children in need.
So we're going to talk a little bit about Madeline. Madeline's a 12-year-old living with anxiety, asthma and undiagnosed autism spectrum disorder. Madeline has a love of dancing and has done incredibly well, bringing home a swathe of trophies.
We'd really like to thank Variety for the opportunity for Madeline to travel to Hong Kong this year. She managed to compete in an international competition where she placed third in one of her dances and fifth overall in a rather large competition, which was our first time overseas, and it was a wonderful opportunity and we are so grateful. Thank you.
SCKC's been running camps in Victoria, New South Wales and Queensland, and Variety assisted in the funding of the first camp mentor program here in SA for 20 at-risk kids aged 7 to 11 in the Adelaide Hills / Mount Barker districts to the value of a massive $16,000.
Just want to say a massive thank you to the Variety Club. What difference can a week of camp make? It gives these children hope. It shows them that there is a different way for their future than the path that's been set out for them. And we thank you so much for all playing a part in that, for all of you who are involved in the bash here and all of you who support the Variety Club. We thank you very much, and thank you for this ongoing work that hopefully will continue for many years to come, making a difference in the lives of our South Australian children. Thank you very much, Variety Club.
A few more minutes for family and friends to bid their farewells, for cars to be checked before heading to the start line.
And here we go for the start of the bash 2017. So we Mount Barker and we go to Mt Gambier. So it's mount to mount. And then you can dismount.
Car Ken is the first one to head over the start line.
Give them a big round of applause.
a short drive out of Mount Barker before the bitumen runs out. It's a gentle run to start with for Car Toy. Charlie's Angels and Bash sponsor Villies aren't far behind. The first treat of the day is a visit to the Monarto Zoo. Bash organisers work closely with zoo officials to make sure the giraffes knew what to expect. With a bit of a look, the young ones don't seem too bothered by 70 or more Bash cars driving through their backyard. With a quick check to make sure no car has been left behind, cars hit the road for a late morning run into Blanchetown. The Wallies have found their way, followed closely by the MW crew, just in case. It's the first day out and looks like some of the bashers want to keep the shine on their cars. The nuns navigate around, so does Car Fun, the Wombats and the Ram. The Hillbillies decide to give their car a good old wash, Bash style. The track starts to take shape as bashers wind their way through an old creek bed. It looks like MW6 is having a little traction issue. Wouldn't want them to come unstuck. Blanchetown gives bashers their first brush with the Murray, and it's lunch at the Blanchetown Hotel.
This is our specialty, Gherkins. We try to mind of you on our lunch. We've actually got a little bit of sweet pickle as well. Okay. Oh, I might do some excuse me's later. Excuse me! It's back on the track and a hint of red dust, a favourite among the bashers. Etiquette ensures all gates that are opened by the bashers get closed after. BB1 does the honours for the Hillbillies and Car Toy as the afternoon sun sets in for the drive. The gravel offers a little relief from the dust for Car Mex and Car 27. Only 18 kilometres to a good meal in Burra and a chance to brush off the dust for day one.
Beautiful soup, absolutely fantastic. Some hamburger. What do you reckon?
Tonight's grants arrive after dinner, a perfect way to round off day one of the Variety Bash.
Welcome to Burra. The Variety Club have helped us insurmountably by assisting us with giving us laptops for our children with learning disabilities. We also have children that have learning difficulties as well, but those children that have the learning disabilities will actually have their own laptop reserved for them especially. They'll be able to have their own apps on those laptops. They'll be able to start the day with everything catered for them and their uniqueness. and I'm just so very, very thankful that you've been able to help us.
This is very special to me because of the simple fact that it's the ultimate in relation to what Variety does for special kids. And I really am thrilled to be able to present this to the Bibberawi Primary School and Penny Drew, who happens to be my daughter.
Thank you, Variety SA. Thank you to all the bashers for giving our school such an incredible and generous grant. Many, many thanks.
A beautiful morning in Borough greets the bashers. It's day 2 and it's a casual start to the day. Time to stock up and time to enjoy another hearty breakfast.
Hi, bro.
Lovely day.
You have to keep your energy up for the big drive ahead.
The crew from Car 61 are getting a bit of attention.
Oh yeah, it's so hot right now.
The bashers convoy out of Borough and head for their first track of the day. It seems early morning navigation can be a bit of a challenge. Looks like Car 66 overshot the turn. Car Swap finds a bit of a puddle and decides to give it a go. Uh-oh, boys. Looks like a flat.
We popped a tyre. Coffee break. Nothing gets done till we have coffee. Oh, go the crew. Rescue, mate. Don't worry about black paint.
We should paint it now and then let's leave.
When you arrest someone, you've got to have clean teeth, you know that?
Between their support vehicle and the MWs, there's nothing that can't be fixed.
SWAT team.
Good work.
Paint the tyres.
This is our 4th bash. Raising the money and that is excellent. To, you know, see where it goes, and yeah, we just really enjoy doing it. It's heaps of fun.
Back on the road, Toro finds just how beautiful today's bash track is. And Car SWAT is back on the road. After a run through the national park, it's back to the dust. Down the track, Car Ken is kicking the footy with the Frozen gang. Don't think any of them should go pro just yet. And it's a direct run to Barbara. This time it's the Hogs who man the gate. Today's lunch is being put on by the fabulous crew at Ballar Station.
This is our second bash lunch that we've catered for, and we think it's a fantastic organisation, so that's why we support it. I like doing this side of fundraising rather than us taking the profits, so we donate it back.
From Barmera, the track reveals the majesty of the southeast. It's tracks like these that make the Variety Bash so incredibly special. Bashers work tirelessly throughout the year to raise money for South Australian children. For the last 3 years, the Bash has raised over $2 million each year, well above any other state in Australia. This year, we followed a Virgin crew to see just how they went about it.
Thank you.
I've helped a few teams in the past with the Variety Bash, with their fundraising. I felt like I needed to get involved to help more kids. We've had a lot of struggles personally, me and my wife, to have children. We've got a beautiful little son now that we're lucky has no problems. But there's so many children out there that need to have this help. So we felt like we needed to join the Variety family to be able to help those kids.
We have 350 of the best souls you've ever seen in your life, and they just love being together. And they work really hard for the kids of South Australia, and it's infectious. So you can't walk away from that really. The Avengers team, I think the hardest working team on the event this year. They work every weekend just as a Virgin team, putting themselves in front of everybody and working really hard. Last year the Bashers raised $2.64 million, which is insane. But when you see it, it all happens because these people are working every weekend, doing something, raising money for the kids of South Australia.
Bashers arrive at beautiful Lake Bonnie. Kids are already out to greet them. For some, it's a chance for families to catch up.
Families all come across because they're only across over the river. So we're all four of us are local boys, all from the Riverland. So everyone you pretty much see here is probably our family come over and supported us, and they've been supporting us along the whole journey so far. It's taken us 2 years to get the car together to get to this point, so fair achievement. So happy as Larry, and the kids seem to love it and get involved with it, so it's great.
Bag truck 1 and 2 have settled in, and Bashers collect their swags for the night. And while some make quick work of their camp, others take a bit longer. George Belperio's crew, with chefs from the Adelaide Convention Centre and guest chef Edward Noble, plate up a feast for the Bashers.
Where's my pork? Where's my pork?
I want to welcome our group of chefs and the people who catered for us tonight. You need to understand that dinner tonight and breakfast gratis by these people.
Algie, what do we got? We've got a citrus pudding with coconut, desiccated coconut, roasted, right, palm sugar, someone photogenic? Yeah. This is it.
Hey, this is the best dessert you'll ever eat on the bash, boys and girls. Come on, come and get it. Good job.
To round off the night and another fabulous day, bashers are treated to some fireworks sponsored by Car Ted. As bashers pack their swags and refuel, Ron gathers everyone for a special announcement.
On the bash, we've managed to do quite a lot of presentations and some grants for you so you can see where your money's gone and where it goes. And today we're going to welcome some very special people, some beautiful children and families and staff from the Riverland Special School. Variety supplied the school with a Sunshine Coach to enable students to access anything in the community at all that they need to do.
And we'd just like to say a huge thank you to Variety, the children's charity, and to all of you who have helped to make this possible. This is, I can't tell you how much we appreciate this, and I might get a bit teary if I try. But that bus is just magnificent. We can do so much with it. These beautiful young people here will get the opportunity to do more in the community, which is what we want. So on behalf of the entire Riverland Special School community, that's staff, students, parents, everybody around, thank you so much. Thank you, Variety. Thank you, all you wonderful people who come out each year to do this fundraising, because we are just so grateful. Thank you.
It's farewell to Lake Bonny. And while some locals head to work, bashers take the scenic route around the lake. The tracks have been kind to bashers so far, but there's nothing like a bit of dust to play in. Today's fun stop is being put on by Car 407.
Land one of these pink coins in the yellow and we'll give you 10 back.
Lamingtons, anyone?
Traditional or raspberry? Lamingtons. Cottons, of course. What would you like?
The best.
Cafe 96 is providing beautiful coffee, well, cappuccinos, short blacks, long blacks to our fabulous family.
And Manuel all the way from Spain trying to make some coffee with our beautiful coffee world. Buongiorno.
Time for a family photograph.
We love varieties.
Nestled on the banks of the Murray, the Woolshed Brewery at Willardine makes a perfect bash comfort stop. Time to soak up the view and enjoy some local produce.
Cheers.
The Marios decide to wash off a bit of that morning dust.
We were given a car in 2012 by Snowdy on the condition that we use it in a bash. So we did it up, spent far too much money doing it because we didn't use the right channels and the right people. But 6 years on, we're here without our captain who's moved to New York, and it's funner without him.
The bash is the cherry, and then we see what happens and where all the money goes to, and that just keeps us coming back and time and again.
That looked too tempting. Thank you very much. Magnificent.
It's back on the road again. Time to head cross country as we steer towards the Victorian border. As bashers head towards the Murray, the landscape opens up to spectacular vistas of surrounding local paddocks. The Pastures to Pines route is unique for the bash. This year, bashers trading some red dust for white as they settle into the banks of the mighty Murray. Dinner at Mildura with a good feed and a chance to shake off the dust. Curly is quick to raise some additional money for South Australian children by auctioning off a few unlikely pets.
I'd like you to meet Larry the lizard.
$1,100 a bid now, 11, everybody here. At 11, hold on, 1,100 now. At 11, where you going, Larry? Run around the floor and do a bit. $1,150 now, $1,150 on the far right, $1,150. Sold to you, Tim, at $1,150.
Morning everybody. As we all know, it's just a wonderful ride to be involved with Variety. We're privileged to have the time and the dollars to be able to do it, to be able to present $60,000 to the special school in your own town adds a huge dimension to our involvement in Variety.
We're always looking for ways to improve opportunities for our students in a rural community. We're a really mixed bag. We've got kids who the Royal Children's Hospital come and train the staff for peg feeding, for oxygen suctioning. We have physiotherapy for students who have no mobility. We have students who are blind. A quarter of our population of students are Indigenous. We have a growing community of refugee people, and we also have the growing community of people who are deaf. So we're always looking for different ways to meet the needs of our cohort of people as Mildura grows as well. And I can't thank you enough on behalf of our community. Thanks, Mark, for putting us forward. Thank you guys for all the work you do and what you put into the bash before it. And I hope you have a great time.
I have a special welcome this morning. I want to introduce Brian and Lorna Keane, who are just over there alongside the hearse. They rang me and said, look, we have this hearse that we're going to get no money for if we sell it, and we'd like to donate it to Variety. I spoke to Colin about it, and he had a vision for the car, as only Cole could have. And Brian and Lorna are just absolutely over the moon that in a year they can donate a car to Variety and it can raise 80 grand. How good's that?
The amount of money that they've raised with it is just mind-blowing for us. Just phenomenal. I couldn't believe it. I'm still doing cartwheels. I'm hoping it'll inspire other people, actually, which is what we're after.
Day 4 of the bash, and after a promising start, a bit of rain has come to wet down the track. Car Mex seems to be having a bit of trouble. The brides wait to make sure Mex is back on the road. The road a bit, the wet has hemmed in the Pirates.
I don't know what happened.
Looks like Karoo to the rescue.
Keep going. Good on you, Pirates. Love you, ladies.
Love you all.
We'll keep moving on.
No worries.
Over and out from the Pirates.
Well, look, we've had a couple of little spins on the track, and look, we saw this lovely water hole here, and we thought we'd like to have a swim. Unfortunately, when I tried to take the car to the left, the car loves the water, so it decided to go straight in. We're now out, and we're safe, so that's okay, don't panic, everyone. And what we're going to do is we're going to pop up here, we're going to pop our cozies on, we're going to have a little swim in this mud bath here, we hear it's good for the skin, okay? So there we go.
It's lunch at the Pink Lakes. It's a bit wet, but it will take more than that to put off a hungry crew.
Get your euros here. Euros. Fresh Creek.
Oh, is there? Definitely the ticket.
No rest, though, for the MWs.
What we have here is Mandy was sitting in the back corner, of course, and the weight, he couldn't take the weight. So, of course, it gave us a problem, and now the rear brake has, in fact, disintegrated. But a good mechanic would be able to do this.
We'll just leave them off. You don't need all of them.
Yeah, so, yeah. Oh, what's this box of bits?
Well, he went through too much mud, and then we heard a noise, and then we took the wheel off, and all the mechanics stood around and went, "Oh, that's never good." So we'll see. I think we've got no brakes. I don't know. This could be fun.
With the rain at a steady pace, the bash track is proving a bit of a challenge for car TAB.
Well, we're having a fat time, PHAT. Came down the road, went for a bit of a turn, kept going.
Is this where you're supposed to get back in
That's
uniform?
what happened. We're pretty happy with it.
Bashers carefully negotiate the mud as MW3 lends TAB a hand. Down the road, it looks like the rain is affecting the bashers' sense of direction. Whoops! Looks like the mud has collected the pirates again. A bit of official support from Car Fun, but even with all hands on deck, it looks like a snatch is the only way out. The rain eases and the bashers make light work of the mud. No one ever goes hungry on the bash. Tonight, the Oyen RSL offers bashers a feast. Every night, day flags are awarded to bashers for doing what they do best. Tonight, virgin bashers, the Avengers, get a flag for mixing it in with the kids. It's day 5 and time to hit the road, but first, a little maintenance. Oyen have been kind enough to lend the MWs a workshop, as a few of the bash cars require some love.
The tyres rubbing, cut a bit of the guard out. These MW guys are fantastic. Get us back on the road in no time. Bloody awesome.
Just waiting for the rest of the car, otherwise I'm doing the bash solo.
Meanwhile, yesterday's adventures in the mud have encouraged a few changes to the morning track.
I'm making amendments. There's a diversion at a certain mark because it's pretty bad, so we're just letting them know. So it is fully core fluted, so they'll know, but this is just to remind them.
It's a convoy through a little bit of mud. makes the SA Bash unique are the opportunities bashers get to meet grant recipients and see where the money they've raised goes. Variety also gives back to communities in other ways by employing locals along the track to cater for hungry and travel-weary bashers. Today, the border town of Murrayville is giving bashers a royal welcome.
My name's Stacey Mercer-Bruns and I'm a resident here in Murrayville. I'm president of the school council here as well as the netball club, and we've catered for Variety Bash for about 3 or 4 times as major fundraisers for our sporting community and sporting clubs. So we love Variety Bash coming through here, and it's a massive thing for our whole town for people to come up here and see all the cars and have so many people in our town. Really having Variety Bash here nearly triples our population. So it means a lot for our community and raises a lot of money that we can then use to maintain our sporting facilities and to actually keep our clubs running, which is really, really important. And it's a lot harder to raise money in a small town when you've only got 200 locals. So it's wonderful to have some outsiders come in and be able to support that in this way. It's just fantastic.
And if you haven't been along the bash, get into it, start raising some money, get a team together, build a car, and you'll have so much fun.
You've got to do it. It's actually really right.
Free, oh, way to go. Hit them in the hearts and down below. I'm a free, oh, give them the old heave-ho. We are the free old dockers.
It's never the wrong time to kick the footy around, but I reckon these kids give our boys a run for their money.
That looks like amateur boxing days, boys.
The wet has hampered the afternoon bash tracks, so it's a bitumen run to Keith and a few sheep along the way. With a warm welcome by locals, a very curious thing has happened at the Keith Showgrounds. The check-in crew are handing out Santa suits to all the bashers who aren't shy about getting into the festive spirit.
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! Have a lovely one, won't you?
It's beautiful, look at this. Where else in the world are you going to get this?
Even Channel 10 gets into the spirit.
Because tonight, the Variety Bashers are celebrating Christmas in August.
And the festivities start with a bang.
Just before we do get cracking on the grants tonight, as I understand it, all the placemats on the table there were made by the Keith Kindy and Childcare Centre with all the little kids there, so let's have a big round of applause.
Now I'd like to thank the Variety Club for their kind donation to the Keith Show Society. The $11,216 will go towards a new sand pit and play equipment.
The children have been very grateful and they had to make 100 key rings for your welcome pack. I had one little entrepreneur that said, why are we making these? I said, the Variety Club are going to give us a new slide, and he made key rings for about half an hour. I said, that's a good effort, Ryan. He said, yeah, well, if I make lots, they might give us the whole playground. So anyway, thanks again and enjoy your night.
We would like to thank the Variety Bash for their generous donation towards our school. It is greatly appreciated by all staff and students and will be put towards helping students around the school in all aspects of their school life. Whether it goes to children who are in need of school uniforms or stationery supplies, the school breakfast club, or subsidising for school camps or visiting performers, it will be put to great use and will be highly beneficial to all the students at our school.
Guys, I just don't want to speak just on behalf of Keith Area School, but all schools which you have supported over the time. It's very humbling. It's extremely humbling. A student left my class today and she'd had a bad day, and I said, look, I know you've had a bad day, you've been fairly sad today, but I was privileged enough to say to her, no matter how bad the day has been, there is always someone who loves you and cares for you, and I want you to remember those people. True story. When we heard that you guys were giving us money, particularly for the kids at our school who really are underprivileged and really do struggle, it was just something which was just so great. When Beck rang me and said, hey, you've got some money for those kids, because of your vision, because of your generosity, and because you care, you guys, these kids, your goodness provides a chance for them to actually get out of the spotlight. In other words, they're not always seen as the kid who's down, or the kid in the corner, or the kid who's bullied, or the kid who just doesn't seem to make it. There's a lot of positive reasons why your generosity helps take these kids out of the spotlight. And they're all positive. Some of them are going on an excursion for the first time. This time they're able to walk into a classroom with a full set of stationery. For some of them it's the first time they're going to wear a full school uniform. First time they'll be able to hear a visiting performer and be able to pay for it. For some, it's the first time really that they're going to have an opportunity to learn with food in their stomach. Sadly, the disadvantaged are always near. They're often weighed down by red tape. They're often held back by lack of opportunity, by a reluctance to move forward. I want to say, you guys make a difference to those kids.
Thank you.
And I want you to understand that. You do make a difference. And for things which we just take for granted, some of those kids, their hearts are going to sing for joy because of what you've done. You might not even get the accolades or the recognition that you deserve from different things. But rest assured, you've made a difference because you've cared for people. Not just the children at Keith Area School, but heaps of other people. And I want to tell you that I've been around teenagers for long enough to know that that'll have lasting consequences. And for some kids, it's going to be enough to pick them up off the carpet and get them to go forward. There's going to be consequences for them as individuals. There's going to be positive consequences for their families. And we, as a community of Keith, benefit from those consequences as well. On behalf of Keith Area School, guys, I want to thank you for your generosity and for your willingness to care for people who don't have what we have. And especially on behalf of some unknown students that you know, they're going to benefit because you care. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for those absolutely magnificent words. Absolutely gorgeous.
Everybody's talking about my loose pants. I got my loose pants on.
Day 6 at the Keith Showgrounds offers a break from the track. It's a chance to give back to the local community with the planting of 350 trees to offset the carbon footprint of the bash.
There we go.
The rain might have arrived, but that doesn't perturb any of the bashers. Sound the trumpets, everyone. It's time for Rambo's Royal Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, get your downward dogs. They are delicious. Rambo's secret recipe.
No soup for you. Hot fresh donuts. Get them here. Get them all there hot donuts.
Okay, well, come on, lucky clowns looking for players. All you have to do is grab a couple of balls, put them in his mouth, and see how you go. Grandpa, come in, get on the stage.
Even Batman makes a late morning appearance.
Where's the Joker?
After an action-packed morning, it's time for lunch. A seafood feast has become something of a bash tradition. A chance to indulge in a smorgasbord of fine produce from the lush south coast.
Fantastic. Fresh from Gold from Vincent. Tuesday afternoon they were cooked, packaged up, and ready for us Thursday morning. Can't get much better than that.
Spencer Gulf prawns, fresh from the sea.
That's a beautiful Smoky Bay oyster from Boiling Oysters. Beautiful.
Seafood isn't the only thing on the menu.
Up a piece of pasta today, and we've got some calamari. It's from all the way from the Riverland, and we just pulled it out of the river today. We've got some chips too. They came out of the ground.
And while everyone digs into lunch, Rambo samples the cakes.
The winner of the 2017 Rambo's Royal Show cake decorating competition is cake number 1. That belonged to Team 3.
After lunch, Keith puts on a show for the bashers. Time for cricket, anyone? wallies I can see. Uh-oh, it looks like the dynamic trio have finally found the Joker.
Car back to MW1.
Don't reckon the MWs can fix this one.
What you experienced today was a truly unique experience on the bash, I think you agree. The whole theme all the way through has been, we want to make sure the bashers remember their time in Keith and have a great time in Keith. We don't give these away lightly, and the only time I've given an OV1 gold door panel of mine to a community was to Smoky Bay last year, and I have one for Keith tonight.
Day 7, and a curious procession winds its way through the start line.
We'd like to remember the happy times of Breton, Rambo, Ramsey, not so much the sad times. As our bash chairman, 2015, 2017, he made a mark on all of our lives. Brenton, Rambo, Ramsey, RIP as the bash chairman. Thank you, Rambo.
After a ceremonial start, bashers hit the road for a morning run to Robe. Mid-morning and time for a cuppa bash style, beginning with a bit of routine maintenance.
Get your tea and coffee and biscuits. Starting to get a few people that are a bit sad from the funeral. Kind of need some consoling.
Oh, that's
Nice, we've got a few oysters here, boys. Smoky Bay oysters, all the way, fresh.
James Byler.
Yeah, the young fella brought them down on the back of the bush bike. Cold coffee.
Oh, look, can you hold this up? Right, shut the lid.
No, all the signs are saying we're close.
Variety SA was keen to give bashers something different for 2017, and the pine forests en route to Robe deliver in spades. Over the last two bashes, entrants have raised over a staggering $4.9 million for the kids of South Australia. The final total for 2017 is still being counted and will be announced on the final night in Mt Gambier. Bashers arrive in Robe, one of SA's premier tourist destinations. The cars make a resplendent addition to the main street.
Don't forget the little fella.
And what does the lion do? Ah!
Ready to go again.
The wet weather has left the bash, but not without leaving an opportunity to wash off some of the mud. Looks like the bakers might be in trouble.
Who needs the Hulk when we got us? Yeah, come off the road. Distributor doesn't like water.
Down the track, rocks make it tough going for two-wheel drive vehicles. Nothing Roo can't handle. Who needs a four-wheel drive? The lakes of Bull Lagoon frame the highway as bashers head to Narracourt. It's a majestic view. Bashers arrive at Narracourt and kids have come to say good day. It's a great opportunity for bashers to meet communities that Variety support throughout the year.
There you go, mate.
Yeah.
There you go, sweetheart.
Doesn't that man hate you?
He does. You know why? Why? Because I ran over him yesterday with a tank.
You want me to turn bad?
Let me. We love lollipop.
It's dinner time, and traditionally tomorrow's arrival in Mt Gambier will see friends and family join the bashers for their final hurrah. So tonight is the last time in 2017 that bashers get to be, well, themselves.
None left. Sold out.
This is my first bash in 11 years. 11 years, and you know what? I love it. Why do I do the bash? The children that need other things in their lives, but I love variety, and I'm their #1 supporter. All my fellow virgins on the bash, they should all get to know me better.
Our company, Codan, sponsors 4 entries a year. I think I'm the first guy from the USA. You know, I did a little research, like going to an interview, you want to research and figure out what's going on. But let me tell you, it doesn't prepare you for it. It doesn't prepare you at all. Everything that you research, especially the film, the footage, is refined, of course. It's presented in a nice format. The format's here. This is real. It's raw. It's very raw. But you know what? It's great. It's warm. It's inviting. People are so friendly.
Tonight hosts a variety of awards. One in particular, the Stuff Compass Award, goes to Car 500, the Wallies.
Is presented to the crew who became the most geographically displaced somewhere between Mount Barker and Narracor.
This is one of the trophies that you always want to avoid winning, and this is the second time I've won it. But I would like to acknowledge, beyond any shadow of a doubt, the work and the organisation of Variety.
To say that the last 3 years has been the best 3 years of my life is an understatement. I really thank you for your friendship. To you people, it has been a delight, and I'm the winner out of all this. I thank you very, very much from the bottom of my heart. Well done.
A cool morning meets bashers on their final day.
Car was covered in ice. We had to chip it off the windscreen this morning. All good now though. Just warm her up a bit. It's all good now.
Nothing a warm breakfast won't fix. It's day 8 with 2 presentations over breakfast.
Variety funded 2 neonatal transport cots and associated biomedical equipment. This equipment will enable low-risk sick babies up to 6 months of age to be transferred to country health sites where there's a resident paediatrician. This will allow babies to be cared for closer to the family and support networks and not be transported to Adelaide or anywhere else.
Thank you so very much for all the hard work that you've done to do this. I can see you're having a really tough time of it, and I feel slightly underdressed, guys. But we believe that this will have an impact on about 40 families every year, and I thank you on behalf of them from the bottom of my heart. So well done, everybody.
Our next presentation, guys from 407 could come up, is for Michelle DeGarris Memorial Kindergarten, variety funded, accessible play equipment and playground surface for them to the tune of $30,500.
Thank you very much. Variety has always been very dear to my heart. We've been looking to putting disabled access swings at our community playground, which is down at Market Square. I do say thank you to Variety for the work that you do. As I said, I followed you. I know what you've put in for children and families that are coping with children with disabilities. So I thank you very much.
At the start line, there's no rest for the MWs, making sure everyone has a safe trip to Mt Gambier.
Just getting the wine out of the dip.
Getting you hard at work.
I should have been doing nothing all week. Just driving around looking for wallies.
Bashing actually in 27 years, so love it, committed, passionate. I'll keep doing it while I can. It's just wonderful to see those special kids get some attention that they really deserve, and I just think it's a great cause, great charity. Variety SA, beautiful.
How are we for, bro?
All right, yourselves? Yeah.
Having a good time?
Awesome. That's more than we expected, yeah.
A bit of sustenance for the road and we're good to go.
Does anyone else want anything? What would you like? Mandarin, apple?
Well, we
there
can
we go. You can have a whole
juggle
fruit
them
salad.
if
You
you
can
like.
have a whole fruit salad.
A beautiful exit out of Narrow Court. We're not long on the road before something seems amiss.
Please proceed with extreme caution.
You need to stay safe, stay in your car, keep your windows up, please.
Looks like the Wallies aren't the only one missing some of their crew. Is that Mrs. Mango? Variety often travels north on the Bash, but this year's route gives bashers a change of scenery. The pine forest provides the perfect backdrop for cars to enjoy their last track of the Bash. Chance to hang five before leaving the dirt for the drive to Tarpina.
Thanks for the journey, boys. It's been shit.
Thank you, mate. Thank you, Rambo. You're a champ. All the best.
Thanks, boys.
It's customary to wash all the bash cars before they head to the finish line. Again this year, the local CFS do the honours for a donation by the bashers. It's win-win for everyone and a chance to keep supporting local communities who host the bash throughout the week. One little entrepreneur is making the most of it.
Washed our legs and everything in that. All clean now. See ya.
It's time for cars to marshal onto the oval before heading off to Mt Gambier. For some, it's a chance to be with family they haven't seen in a week.
This is Christy Lee Webber, the most beautiful girl in the whole world, and she belongs to me. Thank you, sweetheart.
It's also a good chance for us to catch up with bashers, virgins and veterans alike.
Oh. I'm awake. I'm awake.
Always hang out by car, Ina.
2017 bash has been absolutely fantastic. We've had some really good tracks. We had a bit of dust earlier on, then we've had a bit of mud, and just nice easy cruise on now into Mt Gambier. Fantastic.
I think the interesting thing about the 2017 bashes has been extremely wet, but it actually hasn't upset the bash.
You do your first bash for the fun, but you come back for the kids.
As ridiculous as it seems, I would nearly fundraise and not bash if I was too crook or something to bash. I'd still continue fundraising because the fruit's just fantastic.
You made it, Les.
One manifold, couple of diffs, and we're here. Third up.
Most nights, most days I cried, just finding out what Variety did. I didn't really know the breadth of what they did in the community, and seeing that firsthand of like where it went to the community, the different, the way it changed people's lives, and them actually telling us that, and their gratitude was a really humbling thing. Yeah.
Everybody likes jelly beans. What's your favourite colour? Pink. Pink.
I don't think I've ever come across anything where you can celebrate something so much and also make a difference. So yeah.
This 2017 has been our first bash. We, Team Ted, are all family.
It's one big, long, very inclusive 50th birthday party.
People tell you what to expect, and you sort of know, but then once you come here and do it, it's completely different and it's more than what you expect. Doing the bus presentation in Barmera was special for us because we're from the Riverland ourselves, so that was a special time for us doing that one. Being part of it was really good, yeah, and then the mud was really awesome.
The whole bash is inspirational with the community we come across. They inspire us. We see the bashers, they inspire us, and Variety inspires us. And the children that get the benefit from that are inspirational. We love this bash the most, and we've come back from the future to do it again.
Time for the cars to form up and head for the finish line in Mt Gambier.
Made it safe and sound. Fantastic, Russ. Thank you very much.
Like magic glasses.
we were very honoured to lead the procession into Mt Gambier, been a local car, coming back into our very generous community, and it was absolutely fantastic, the crowd that's come out to see us. Mate, I couldn't be happier.
I have one really big teddy bear. He's been on a long trip. Would that arrive here to take him home? Yeah. Got a little bit wet though, but I reckon he'll suit you, wouldn't he? Yeah, well done. Thank you.
Beautiful smile. And can you have on through?
Well, I travelled from Port Lincoln the other day to get here to surprise Kim and support her, but more so surprise her. And yeah, I thought I'd, amongst all the chaos, drop on one knee and propose.
I said yes!
This is the really important part of the night. We have a new chairman. This person is just a perfect replacement. I'm over the moon with this decision. Your new chairman for 2018 Bash is Sandra Lucan.
I'm so excited to dive into the deep end, and I will bring you the 2018 Bash, Sandra style. I don't know what that is yet.
What you guys have raised this year is $2.537 $2.537 million.
I want to say, you guys make a difference to those kids. Because of your vision, because of your generosity, and because you care. For some of them, it's the first time they're going to wear a full school uniform. For some, it's the first time that they're going to have an opportunity to learn with food in their stomach. You've made a difference because you've cared for people.